Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Allie, this is Allie G Reads, and I am finally doing my September wrap-up. Also going to start with a little bit of like a life update because I've not been very active on here, so I will do that as well. But yes, that's the plan for today. So yes, do have things planned. This is the beginning of my Halloween kind of special. So yeah, there's that. So my life update is actually, I'm still working full time. I've been pretty quiet on here, but I've been more active on TikTok. It's just easier to make 1-minute videos than the time it takes to do this and edit them. But I decided to go back to school part-time. Yay me! So I will be starting school next week. I am doing German language studies, and then I will be doing an interpretation course to be an interpreter, and also certified bilingual, and also will be doing like international business studies. So I'll be done by next year, but if I go quiet for a while, that's why. Since I was like planning this and trying to get into it, I haven't read too many books this month, but again, I have lots planned for Halloween season. Spooky season's my absolute favorite. I don't just want to talk about books on here, especially for Halloween. Like, I do want to talk about like some horror movies and stuff that I'm really big fan of. I want you guys to get to know me better. So I will always post wrap-ups because, of course, I will try my best to do as much as I can. I think I just need to get my like bearings with school. So, and because I'm working full-time, I'll probably be exhausted. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in my world. So without further ado, let's get started with the September wrap-up. I read 6 books this month. Actually almost 5 are nonfiction, and then I have 1 horror book, but 2 in particular are quite lengthy, so it did take me like a bit more time. So yes, we have a little bit of a switch up. We're going to do a lot of nonfiction. I've been on a major nonfiction kick lately because, to be frank, I am in the mood to learn. And I mean, now that it's kind of spooky season, I'm more in the mood for like I'm getting the fall vibes. Like, it's very dark outside right now. I'm on vacation this week. Spooky season. It's my birthday next week. So I will be doing more and more and more. I just, for the time being, I just feel like learning, and you will probably see some nonfiction pop up in my October reads as well. So the first book I read this month is The 7 Deadly Sins, Settling the Argument Between Born Bad and Damaged Good by Corey Taylor. If you don't know, Corey Taylor is the lead singer of Slipknot. Slipknot is one of my favorite bands. He's also to Stone Sour. He has a solo project. He does a lot. He's super talented. And I really actually enjoy him as a person, and he's written 4 books. So this is my first of his. I do have another one that I am going to start soon. So you will see that book in my October. But yeah, this was a really interesting book about the 7 deadly sins that are laid out, and almost like the defense of them actually not being sins, and that he makes his own set of what should be deadly sins, like murder and like pedophiles and assault and all that. So it makes more sense, but this is part memoir as well. And Corey Taylor did mention in this book that he is really big fan of Hunter S. Thompson, and it shows in this type of writing. I think you don't necessarily have to be a fan of his music to enjoy this book for what it is. But yes, so I did give it a 4 out of 5 star. I really enjoyed it. I marked off a lot. He's a really good writer, and I could very much tell this is like heavy influence by Hunter S. Thompson, because he definitely borrows a lot of that writing style. I then read a really short book, Mortality by Christopher Hitchens. Super tiny. If you don't know who Christopher Hitchens is, he was quite a outspoken atheist, and he's written quite a few books, and he's pretty known for like debating like religious figures and stuff. So he ended up being diagnosed with cancer, and this is his writing on mortality and grappling with the end of his life while being an atheist. And I think it's an important book because he goes down still swinging, say, like he didn't turn to prayer or anything like that. And there are so few books on grappling with death that are written from an atheist perspective and don't have anything to do with praying or making amends or anything like that. So I did think this was a really interesting perspective. I really enjoyed it, and of course Christopher Hitchens was a beautiful writer, and yeah, I'll definitely be reading more of the ones I haven't already read. This might be a little controversial. I read The Sixth Extinction by Elizabeth Colbert. It was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. It came out quite a few years ago. This is an unnatural history, and basically what this book is she wrote that throughout history there have kind of been 5 major waves of extinction, and the 6th one would be disastrous for humans, and with climate change and global warming is happening, etc. I gave this 2 out of 5 star though, because I was bored to fucking tears. As important as it is, she really didn't get to the root of it until the end, and I guess I kind of wanted more of like a fleshed out argument versus the entire history of like some fossils and extinction, and like, oh my god, it was so much talk about like fossils and shit like that I just don't give a fuck about. Like, I've never been an anthropology person, never. I didn't care. Like, I just wanted, I guess, more facts on like current state of the world, and like, I don't know. It's probably just me. Obviously, it's really highly rated. I'm not saying don't read it, but I was really fucking bored, and I really just wanted her to get to the point. So, 2 out of 5 from me. This book was incredible. I finally read Know My Name by Chanel Miller. It was an easy 5 star. If you don't know, Chanel Miller was Emily Doe in the Brock Turner rape case. And her witness, or her victim impact statement, went viral. When BuzzFeed published it, there were politicians reading it, and yeah, she's just incredible, and she's an incredible writer, and this talked about what had happened, and she's finally reclaiming her name and the voice for what happened. And people were just so shitty. Like, his dad made stupid fucking remarks. It was very much about privilege and in the justice system, and classism and race, and how rape trials are, and how damaging it can be to the victim because they have to go on the stand and like relive it, and then people are gonna call them like liars, and there's a lot of victim blaming, and It was really hard to read, but it's a really important read. And yeah, I think it's one of the best memoirs I've ever read. So I implore everybody to give this book a go. It is worth the hype. I'm so glad I finally picked it up. My only horror read for the month has been on my list for I don't know how long. I picked this up at Value Village forever ago. Drood by Dan Simmons. Now, Dan Simmons is a great writer. He writes historical fiction, but horror, which is, I think, becoming more common, but I think he does it the best because they're so historically accurate and so well researched, like you can tell. And this is 700 fucking pages. I had an audiobook to help me. The story is really intriguing. It's about Charles Dickens, and at the end of his life, he was writing a series with a character named Edward Drood, and it's this really mysterious figure, and Charles Dickens died in the middle of it, so it was kind of an odd story. So this is about this Drood character and Charles Dickens basically losing his mind about this Drood character he's writing about. And this is told from Wilkie Collins, who was also an actual writer, which was really interesting. And again, very well fleshed out, beautiful writing. The ending was decent. I wish it got there faster. Like, I don't think 700 pages was necessary. And I rented the audiobook from the library to help me get through it because I could not go forth without it. So it's a 2 out of 5. But I think for people that like more like epic stories and really like well told kind of books, I definitely think this would be for you and you would enjoy it. And again, it's technically horror, but it's different. It's unique. So 2 out of 5. Last book is my favorite book of the month. It is one of the best books I've read all year. I will go down recommending this to every single fucking person I know. It should be required reading as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, The Shop Doctrine by Naomi Klein, The Rise of Disaster Capitalism. This is to date my most heavily annotated book. As you can see, I tabbed a lot off. I highlighted a lot. Yeah, this is like, yeah, it's intense. This is journalism at its finest. This is terrifying. This is probably one of the scariest books I've ever read. And because it's true and it's still happening and no one's talking about it. Basically, Naomi Klein talks about the state of capitalism that we are currently in the world and how it got to be that way. I'm a Marxist 100% of the way. I fucking hate capitalism. I'm tired of it. I knew enough, but I didn't have the full story I feel like I got with this. And the fact that she compared this state of capitalism to shock treatment, and there's a whole section in this book that goes into shock treatment and experiments that they've done on people unwillingly in Canada and actually funded by the CIA. So it was really horrible to read. She talks about torture and shocking the system, and basically how people will shock economies after horrible things happened and communities are left in this state of shock and they can't really process what's happening when all these sweeping reforms come in. Yeah. And it honestly horrified me. It really did. I think this should be required reading for everybody. I think everybody, regardless of your political stance, should read this book, because I think you need to know the history. And she thankfully doesn't just talk about North America. She talks a lot about South America. She talks a lot about Asia, and she talks a lot about Europe and Russia, especially. There was a lot on Russia, which I really appreciated. And yeah. So, heavily annotated. One of my favorite books. I'm so glad. I cannot wait to pick up more of Naomi Klein's books. Yeah. So, I'm going to leave it on that note, because it's a horrifying book. And it fucking scared me. And what a great way to start spooky season, to be scared by real life. So 5 out of 5 will definitely be one of my favorite books ever of all time. It will definitely be probably one of the best in the top 5 books I've read all year. So read it. That's it for my wrap up. Sorry it wasn't longer. Yes, so as I said, I do have more coming. I've actually had my October videos planned for a long time. Yeah, so get ready. And not just books. I will obviously be recommending books. I'm finally going to do my true crime video this month, recommending true crime books and or podcasts and cases that really fascinated me. So yes, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sorry I'm not as up to par filming, but I will be. I promise. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for sticking it out and watching. I appreciate it. So I don't have an exit. Bye.